So I've got Eddie from Motorhead sitting next to me. He takes a big drag of a joint and he goes, and then he goes and he passes it to me. My last season working at Marina Marbella in the south of Spain, I got called into my boss's office just leading up to the summer. It must have been around May, June time, to discuss what the plans were for all the skippers in the company, what were they going to do that summer, which boats they're going to be working on. So boss calls me in and he says, right, we've got this new boat coming in. It's been bought by an existing client. I'm like, right, it's a 56-foot Absolute. Now, Absolutes are built in Italy, and we want you to run the boat. They want a skipper for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, something like that, and we want you to run it. And I was like, okay. So he said the boat's going to be based in Porto. You're going to be tied alongside the dock at the end of Key 7 in Porto it was, and basically they want to use it as a day boat. I was like, okay, cool. So when the boat arrives, you know, make sure you test all the systems, fill up the fuel, go for a sea trial, make sure the electrics are working, mechanics are working, there's no problems with it. And then once you're happy with everything, take it to Porto Banús. So, okay, cool. It was two owners, so it was two friends that had bought the boat from Ireland. And they basically had their own houses in the south of Spain and wanted to use it with their friends and family, just go out for a cruise or go for a lunch somewhere and then come back. So I arrive with the boat in Porto Banús, I refuel the fuel station, take it to the quay, and then one of the owners comes the following couple of days later or something like that. And pretty much he was going to be using the boat for the next few weeks. So we ended up going from Porto Banús to Nikki Beach. It was probably about a half an hour cruise every single day for the next, I don't know, 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was. And they never wanted to go anywhere else. I was like, well, fair enough. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes, but to go to Nikki Beach every single day, and we have a beautiful boat like this, there's so much more you can do with it, you know, but they're the owners. That's what they want to do, you know, fair play. And then one day I get a call from one of the owners saying, look, we want to come and use the boat, but we don't want to go to Nikki Beach, we want to go to Soto Grande. I was like, okay, we have a very special friend of ours coming. I was like, okay. And he says, please can you go and get some, you know, nice snacks and some nice drinks and make sure the boats are looking spotless and make sure the jet skis refueled and everything's refueled. And normally I always do this, but he just asked me on this particular day. He never asked me this before. I thought, yeah, of course, no problem, we can do that. So we did all that. And then the day comes and I see him walking down the dock with a bunch of his friends and a couple I've not seen before. And they get on board and so say hello, didn't really recognize anybody. And the guests then kind of like sat down, relaxed, and I offered everybody a drink. And predominantly, you know, the guys were drinking beers and the ladies were in wine. There was one particular gentleman who I thought I recognized, I wasn't too sure. I thought, likes to drink, and he goes, sorry, I can't drink alcohol anymore, I'll just stick to the water or soft drink, whatever it was. So I'm like, okay, fair enough, he's obviously can't drink for whatever reason, and so I got him his water or soft drink, cranked the engines. Then we started cruising towards Soto Grande. It's a beautiful, calm summer's day, nice and hot, really great conditions. And then one of the other guests comes and sits next to me and we start chatting. And we're talking about the guy that's not drinking. And he says, oh, do you not know who that is? And I was like, I don't know, maybe, should I? And he goes, that's Eddie from the band Motorhead. I was like, ah, right, okay. He goes, you're not too familiar about that? I said, I recognise the name, but I can't put any songs with them. He goes, do you know the song Ace of Spades? Of course I know that song. It's where Eddie wrote the song, The Ace of Spades. I was like, ah, so it all kind of clocked who he was. I thought, this is brilliant. And then thought nothing of it, and the guy left, and I was just doing my job, cruising down towards Soto Grande. Next thing, I look around and I can see they're rolling a marijuana joint. And, you know, there are particular rules on boats, and you know, in this circumstance, it was a little bit of cannabis. They were going to smoke it, and I was like, whatever, you know, none of my business. And so they roll this joint, and it must have been, I'm probably exaggerating, probably about this size, the biggest joint I've ever seen. And so they rolled it, they started smoking it, and then Eddie, who wasn't drinking alcohol, then takes a joint and he starts smoking. He starts kind of relaxing and a bit more chatty, and you know, the whole vibe is a lot more kind of relaxed. And then they're passing around, they're chatting away, and then Eddie gets up and he looks around and is like, takes a big toke and like, oh yeah, cool. Then he walks over towards me. And then he comes and he sits down next to me. He's got a joint in hand. I'm there busy, you know, navigating the boat towards our destination. I'm like, hi. He goes, oh, Captain, yeah, what's all this stuff? So I explained to him, well, this is the radar. This is the nav plotter. We've got the autopilot here. These are the throttles for the engines to make us go forward and back. This is a bow thruster. This is a windscreen wiper control, and all the different controls that the boat had on board. So, oh, okay, that's really cool. This is a good view out here, and the boat's got a nice cool sunroof. He's like, cool, this is really nice. And then we started chatting, and he's a really nice guy. And I always remember this. So I've got Eddie from Motorhead sitting next to me. He takes a big drag of a joint, and he goes, and then he goes and he passes it to me. And I'm looking over, and I'm thinking, Eddie from one of the greatest rock and roll bands in the world has just offered me to smoke a joint with him, but I can't because I'm working. Now, I know a lot of people are going to think you did take that drag, and I promise you I did not. And I said to him, thank you so much. If it was any other circumstance, I probably would, even though I'm not a fan of cannabis, it's not my thing. Just to say I smoked a joint of with Eddie from Motorhead, I would have done it. So he goes, okay, you know, fair enough. And then he kind of stands up and then goes away. And I'm sitting there thinking, God, I just turned that down. But, you know, I've got a job to do, and at least I can tell this story in years and years to come like today. And so he goes, he sits down. We head into Soto Grande. They get off. I don't think they even had lunch. I think they just had a coffee or something. They're off like 20 minutes, half an hour. They came back. Okay, we can head back now. So we start cruising back, and they rolled another joint, and they all kind of like a bit kind of chill, lying on the sunbeds, all kind of relaxed. And Eddie comes back up and starts talking to me again, and he's telling, you know, this is your job, where are you from, this, that, and the other. I believe he was genuinely interested, or maybe he was just a bit goofed. But anyway, so we cruised back. We headed into Port of News, and then we tied alongside the quay, tied everything up, and then, you know, kind of said our goodbyes. And that was, you know, looking back, do I wish I'd done it? Probably not. I'm not too sure. Could have had consequences, might have been fired. But still, it's a cool story to say that Eddie from one of the most legendary bands in the world offered me a joint.